Now, a place value chart is something that students are familiar with from elementary school. So from probably around year 3, we start learning about this. However, many students struggle to find the connection in how we convert between fractions, decimal, and percent. So let's write that here, fractions to decimals to percent, and vice versa, because they are all interconnected. One of the very first things that I think is so important is that we show how they are interconnected. So we all know right before the decimal or right after it on the left-hand side, we have the units, followed by the tens, hundreds, and in the upper years, we talk about the thousands. But behind the decimal, there are spaces as well. We need to know what these spaces are called in order to allow the place value chart to support our understanding of how it's all connected. Therefore, what I enjoy doing is demonstrating a mirror line. So I'm going to change my color here so you can see. If I imagine that there is a mirror line here, a mirror reflects things. If we use our imagination, I know it's not true, but if we imagine that this decimal is the same thing as saying the units or the ones column, well, that would mean that the next space behind the decimal or our imaginary ones space would have to be the tenths column. And we demonstrate the tenths column with T, TH. That would then mean that the next column over would have to mirror the 100. So we put H, TH for hundredths. And then if you're speaking with older students, we can talk about mirroring the thousands to make the TH, TH, or the thousands column. But what does that mean? What is a tenth or a thousandth? Well, if we're able to connect it to fractions, it's going to make a world of difference in understanding. So the tenths column is really saying 1 out of 10. Or, to be fair, it's actually saying 10 out of 100. So let me move this out of the way. And 10 out of 100 simplified is 1/10. Looking at the hundredths column, we know that that would be 1 out of 100. And then in the thousandths, you guessed it, 1 out of 1,000. Now, already we have made the connection between decimals and fractions. Therefore, if students have to convert something like, let's say, 0.78 as a fraction, well, they would need to remind themselves, okay, there's 2 decimal spaces, which means that in my place value chart, it would fall here, 0, decimal, 7, 8. Oh, look, it ends in the hundredths. Hundredths is 1 over 100, which means I can make the fraction 78 over 100 without having to do